right.
The floor is yours, my lady.
Hi, Phobos, sisters, brothers, and lovers. I'm Jynx.
I'm clueless.
And I'm annoyed. This is Sisters of the Macabre. Yeah, I cannot drink any more caffeine right now. Because I've already had an energy drink and a half. And I'm still tired. You know what I found out?
What?
Monster doesn't work for me anymore.
Ah. Oh, so, what I hear is you have a lot of, useless monster lying around your house that you could probably send my way.
Your wife would kill me.
No, she would confiscate them from me. She's
I'm
not
gonna
gonna
have
mind
to.
free drinks, especially for my fix.
Fair, but.
She just confiscate them and just like, okay, one for the week. Please, may I have some more? One! Please, ma'am. May I have some
Yeah,
more?
this is their offering. The
Yes, I
bad apple.
love that. We
Yeah,
were
they
not
wanted it.
sponsored by Monster. Wish we were,
No,
but
but
we're
I
not.
really fucking wish we were.
Dude,
It's a
I would
travesty.
practically breathe Monster.
I already do, but the problem is it's not working for me anymore. I
You
will
gotta
drink
double
a
your dose.
whole monster. Yes, and that's a problem. I can't be doing that. So I'm
That's
gonna have
quitters talk.
to. Huh?
That's quitters talk.
No, it's expensive talk. It's broke
Oh, that is
talk.
true. But if we got a sponsorship with Monster and they gave us a supply, then it wouldn't be too bad.
No, then it would be great, and I would continue drinking them. I just need to take a break because I have one every single fucking day, and I have had for the last almost 7+ months. So, I mean, it took a while for me to get, like, I guess, immune to them. Um, so with that, I think I'm gonna take a break from those. I might order a case of something else just so I can have something else working. But I also do have my everyday dose, so I might start taking that more. I'm trying not to take it, but I might start drinking that more. I think I'm gonna have to.
Do
Because, like,
what
it
you
wakes
can.
my body up. Yeah, well, it wakes my body up, but it doesn't wake my brain up.
Is that where the monster comes in? Are you gonna unlock the
No.
fourth dimension?
No, the monster wakes the body up. It's not waking my brain up anymore.
Eh.
Yeah. So, I have a fucking Starbucks double shot, half of that in the car right now because that's what I was fucking chugging.
Dutch Bros!
I wasn't anywhere near one.
Get a blender! Get a blender! Get a giant Dutch Bro drink. Get 2 of them. And blend them after freezing them.
Depends on how expensive Dutch Bros is, though.
Fair enough. Shit's getting expensive.
Shit's been expensive. The economy crashed because of you know who. That's not a secret. Everybody in the world fucking knows it at this point. It's not a secret. Still not gonna say the name.
The
Um,
Cheeto Puff.
do not desecrate Cheeto Puffs like that. Do not
Cheese ball?
disrespect Cheeto Puffs like that. Huh?
Cheese ball?
No, cheese balls are still better than him.
Fair enough.
Maybe a cheese ball you
That
found at the bottom
one
of a
cheese
sewer.
ball that was left forgotten in a teenager's room for decades until they finally clean it out.
It's just
That one
moldy
that's in
and
the corner.
gross.
Not even. Moldy would make sense. It's still pristine because of all the fucking unnatural
Preservatives.
preservatives and
Oh.
all that shit in there. It makes it even worse because you're questioning yourself, did I have a cheese ball last night, last week, last month, last year?
And then
It's the kind
somebody
that
eats
invites
it.
you to try it, and then when you do, you regret everything.
Yeah. Except we didn't learn the first time. Sorry.
The
Anyway, I
average
don't know.
IQ is 100. That means that over 50 is under that. Around 50% of the population is under 100 IQ.
Yeah. Well, anyway,
That's
I don't know if I should cut this out or leave it in. Depends on how
We'll figure it
political we
out.
actually want to
We could
be.
probably put this
Right.
to
As we're talking about, I mean, we're about to talk about something much worse than
the cursed puff.
the cuff.
That's what he is now. He's a cuff.
So before we get into it, I want to tell a funny story just to bring some levity into this because this is going to get hard. This is a very difficult case. We're going back to our roots. Um we're going
It's
to
been a
talk
while.
about true crime.
Crime that is true.
It's true crime time. So, I'm just going to start out with a stupid funny story that happened while I was at work. Um I was talking with a friend of mine who's now a receiver at one of the Total Wine locations. And known her for years, then the manager comes in. I've known him for even longer. So like he also has ADHD, she has ADHD, like we are all just a bunch of fuckheads.
Oh, I love my pack of fuckheads.
Yeah, exactly. We're all just a bunch of fuckheads. And we were talking about, I don't know how we got on this subject, but I was like, man, I can't remember names or faces. And dude's like, oh, I can remember faces. I just can't remember the names that go with it. And so we were talking about that. And she made a joke. It's just like, well, what's my name? I was just like, I have known you for years. I know your name, damn it. And he straight up goes, if you got a problem with Jennifer, you got a problem with me. Her name is not Jennifer.
We're
He
using
was
different
making
names.
no, no, no. That's what he said.
That her name
Her
isn't
name is
Jennifer?
no, no. So he said, if you have a problem with Jennifer, you have a problem with me. His joke is that he can recognize faces, he can't recognize names.
Yes, that's same here.
Yes.
I can
Yeah. So
recognize the
the joke
face.
was, yeah, exactly. The joke was
Oh, so that
that
was the
he knew
joke.
who she
Her name
was.
isn't
Yes.
Jennifer.
Yeah.
You only recognized her face. Oh, I love that.
Exactly. That's what the joke was. And so um I caught it right away and I started laughing. I was like, God damn. So I started laughing. She did not get the joke, whatever. She's like, who the fuck is Jennifer? So it was like, you didn't get the joke either. I was like, well, here you go.
Dude, I had a fuckhead group when I was back when I was working at the place I was working at. I'm not gonna
Hmm.
name any names, but I will
Back when
use
you were
nicknames
working at
that
work.
back when I worked where I worked. I'm not gonna call them by their names, but I
No.
do have some very distinct uh nicknames that I used to call them. Beef Stew and Off-Brand Thor. Those were my homeboys. Beef Stew got his name because another coworker of ours said that he smelled like beef stew and we never let him live it down. Just like, what does that mean? But beef stew is so unhinged. I absolutely adore and love his vibe. This motherfucker was introduced to me with only one description.
Okay.
He's tall.
He's tall. That's it.
This motherfucker was so tall. I had to literally crane my neck just to look at him. It's like, yeah, tall. This guy. The other
7 foot
distinct feature
motherfucker.
should have been, yeah, he has the most serious and dry, monotonous tone. He convinced the CEO that there was a new rule or regulation in place.
No.
There are no shoes allowed on this place where I used to work at floor.
Wow.
CEO came to our station and asked about our meeting, and this beef fucking stew decided to rope me into this because he likes to sometimes do like a mock meeting, and like he put down, it's like, oh yeah, like nobody's allowed to wear shoes on the floor anymore. It's like you come in, you leave your shoes at the door, bare feet.
Okay. All right.
The CEO had a meeting with the managers the next day, and our manager came down the stairs. Beef stew, you're not allowed to talk to the CEO anymore. We had a meeting about where this elusive regulation came from, and he was seriously concerned about the safety of everybody's feet. Because he thought that people were going to come in without shoes. You're not allowed to talk to the CEO anymore.
So good. Okay. And what about the other one?
Uh, dude, it he was friends with somebody. I had stories for him every time he came back.
Okay.
So imagine explaining to this guy who looks like an off-brand Thor. Oh yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that friend that you have. I I I threw his little twink ass over my shoulder and threatened to launch him out the bay doors. And he's just like, what did he do? But there are other stories with him. It's just like they're not coming to me right now. It's just I mostly worked with Beef
That's
Stew.
okay.
But it's
Fair
just like,
enough. All right. We've had a little bit of fun. We've had a little bit of levity. So, to start this off, I want to begin by mentioning how insane this case really was. It was a turning point in forensic science. This murder was the first murder conviction without a body in Connecticut, which proved you can establish death, cause of death, and a perpetrator entirely through forensic reconstitution.
this sounds like it's gonna be a roller coaster ride.
It is. It is.
It sounds like a lot of fuck-headed tactics are gonna be employed or deployed.
Mm,
Just no dead body. We'll fucking get it.
yeah. Um, well, it changed how prosecutors handle no body homicides forever. Also, this case inspired scenes in Fargo, and it was actually the very first episode of Forensic Files, which I thought was an interesting tidbit to add.
That's actually pretty cool.
Yep. So today, we're going to talk about the Helle Crafts case. I'm going to start in a weird place.
Helle Crafts? Like crafty?
No, that's her last name.
Her last name is Hellecraft?
No, her first name is Helle, and her last name is Crafts.
Okay.
Yeah.
Was she
Was she what?
hella crafty?
No, but she was hella smart, and I'll get into it.
But wait, there's more.
Oh, there's always more. With this case, there's always more.
It's the gift that keeps giving.
I wouldn't call it a gift, but sure.
Yeah, okay, that might have been a little insensitive of me. For forensic science, it's the monkey's paw that just won't stop. There, is that better?
Yeah, it just kept going and kept going and kept going. But we're gonna, yeah, we're gonna start in a weird place. I want to talk about the husband, Richard Crafts, first. Normally, I don't do that, but
Dick Crafts.
there's
Got it.
what you cut out.
Dick Crafts.
Yes. Dick crafts indeed.
You know, I'm gonna crochet some penises now.
Jesus Christ. All right. Well,
Sorry.
no, you're fine. You're fine. Normally I don't start with this, but there's a lot of things that I want you to keep in mind as we move through this case. So that's why I'm starting it with this. He was raised in New York City and eventually moved to Darien, Connecticut. He attended a
Not
private
Dairy Maine.
school. No, not Derry, Maine.
Okay, so no Pennywise references. Got it. Love it.
Yeah. So he moved to Darien, Connecticut. He attended a private school in his younger years, but academics were absolutely not his forte.
Oh, baby stupid.
Baby stupid.
Maybe daddy like you dummy. If you guys catch that reference, you're a real one. I love you. In the most heterosexual way.
Heterosexual way.
Or platonic. Platonic way. I'm married.
Yeah.
It's platonic! Don't come after me, please.
Ooh, Q has a crush
I
on
I'm
all our
I'm scared. I
phobos.
don't know what to do with actual fucking affection.
Dude, I saw this
I will freak
post.
out.
I saw this post where it was a cactus. It's just like, I've grown used to not having care, and now I thrive in no care. And a cloud comes by. It's just like, that's sad. Here's some care, and it like rains on him, and then all of a sudden the cactus is dead in the next screen.
You overwatered it, bitch.
Well, it was a cactus.
See?
It didn't need water to begin with. Anyway,
Yeah.
yeah. Although the cactus that I have does need water, but it's also inside, so
Is it a cactus or a succulent?
I don't know. It's got spines. It
Okay.
is a cactus. I can't remember what kind of cactus it is. But Snacks's girlfriend gave it to me. Along with a couple other things. She had gotten me like butterscotch Harry or not butterscotch, butterbeer Harry Potter like Hershey's kisses. And she knew I
What?
would like them. Yeah, look, they're right
Are they
here.
good?
Yeah. They're fucking butterbeer. Of course they're good.
I've never heard of such things.
Yeah. Butterbeer kisses.
You know what? When I get money, I am crashing your place and I'm eating all of your butterbeer chocolate.
It's not chocolate. Here, I'll even show you. So they
You said
even
it was
have
Hershey's.
it's Hershey's, but it's butterbeer. It's not actual chocolate. Well, maybe it is. It's butterscotch. So they have different colors for the houses. Here's a Gryffindor, a a Ravenclaw, Hoofly Poof,
I'm the Hufflepuff.
Hoofly Poof. Trying to find. Do they not have Slytherin in here? Oh, you bastards!
They're in your bed.
Almost said something. I'm gonna keep my mouth shut. Anyway,
Do it. Do it.
like no, that would be Leo. Anyway,
You know what? No. You're Slytherin, Leo's Gryffindor.
Leo's a Gryffindor.
And that's my headcanon.
Yeah. All right.
I mean, can't you kind of see it? I can see it because, like, he's such a golden retriever.
But he's too shy. Well, he was.
Yes.
He
But
was until we started flirting, and now he's not shy.
he's brave.
Yeah, dealing with me, he's kind of brave,
And a
yeah.
golden retriever. And he's very attentive to what you need and want and don't
I
want.
mean, he did do
Because
the
he does
thing.
not wish for you to commit suicide.
Fuck off.
I'm sorry. I saw it. I saw it and I had to.
No, it's
I
fine. It's fine. That was funny. I'm just like, really? Yeah. I'm
We
glad I
wish to keep
told
you
him.
alive as long as possible.
Yeah, I'm like, I'm glad I told him, and obviously I told everybody at the same time, but I was just like, no,
Oh yeah.
wait, because the Kermit the Frog thing is no, wrong kind of daddy. uh, but yeah, she had gotten me the cactus, and it's actually oddly enough thriving.
Oh, that's
I,
nice.
I don't know what I did, but I have to remember to turn it because there's parts of it that are longer, and it kind of goes out like this.
All slanted and stuff.
Yeah, so I have to remember to rotate it, but not too bad. Anyway, back on target.
Stay on target,
We can't stay on
as
target.
Leo would
We
say.
need Yeah, we need the levity because this is just a really hard case. Um, but after high school, he tried to get into college, but it didn't really work out for him. He dropped out and joined the Marines in 1956, where he developed his love for aviation, planes, things like that.
Giving
He was
Marines a bad name.
yeah, he does really badly. He was a part of many covert operations, and some sources also note he had worked with or for Air America, which is the CIA linked airline used during the Vietnam era. Yeah,
Ah,
yeah. Many people remembered him as being emotionally cold, controlled, and detached. He had a reputation for being unfaithful for years, often conducting affairs while working as an airline pilot.
you know what? That makes sense.
Yeah, he had plenty
That
of
makes sense.
opportunity.
Not the airplane license, the cheating, it's just
Yeah. 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 um,
why.
yeah. He had a volatile temper though. But he was also capable of appearing calm and methodical in public. He was heavily interested in guns.
That is such
What?
a backhanded comment. He appeared in public as calm and it's like, but he's not.
But he
Smart and
never was.
sophisticated in public, but he's not. Not at
Yeah,
all.
no. No.
Not one bit.
No. No. Um,
Mm.
he was heavily interested in guns. Like the dude had an extensive collection. And also law enforcement culture. Besides being an airline pilot, he also worked part-time as a police officer in Southbury and Newtown, Connecticut. Now, that doesn't actually mean that he was a police officer.
He was a
Part-time
volunteer.
police Yes, actually. So part-time police officers, or better known as auxiliary police officers, which are volunteer or part-time non-sworn personnel who support local law enforcement by performing non-hazardous, community-focused duties like patrols, traffic control, and special events security. They primarily act as eyes and ears of the community. They do often wear uniforms, but usually do not carry firearms or possess arrest powers, allowing full time officers to focus on complex policing. And these are just things I want you to keep in mind as we move forward through the case.
Yep.
Okay?
Got it locked and loaded. I'll probably forget.
Locked and loaded to shoot it somewhere else because that's got no business here.
Locked and loaded, and oh shit, I dropped it with my butterfingers off the ship. Lost forever in time.
You roboted what?
Lost forever to time.
Oh, horrible. Well, let's move on to the victim. Helle Lork Nielsen. She was born July 7th, 1947, in Charlottenlund, Denmark. I don't know if I said that right. It's Charlotte.
Wait.
What?
Is it Charlotte Ton or like
So it's Charlotte.
Charlton?
Nope, it's maybe Charlatan because it's CHRLOTTENUN or NLUND. So, Charlottenland? Denmark. That's all I got. I'm
It's
American. I'm sorry.
Denmark. Where
Yeah.
we are so fucking American. Oh my gosh. I am the Wonder Bread.
And you're not even
Like,
white. That's the problem. You're Wonder Bread and
I
you're
am
not
Wonder
even
Bread.
white.
The bimbo brand.
You are whiter than me. But my but actual DNA, I'm whiter than you.
You see lights reflecting off of my skin now through this video feed? I have
Yeah.
no lights on in my room.
You are whiter than me. Physically. But our
Hi.
DNA in our DNA, I'm whiter than you. Jesus. All right. Well,
Only white where it counts.
yeah, the
The
skin.
ski.
How's that white privilege?
It's not all it's cracked up to be.
I know, right?
But it
Anyway,
is fun when people say a racist joke to me, thinking that I'm gonna be on their side, and I'm just like, you just insulted me. What do you mean? That racist joke? That was me. That's me. Hi. Long and complicated Hispanic last name. Z.
yeah,
Plural.
yeah.
Pull in the fucking um that one guy from The Sweet Life of Zack and Cody.
Yes.
That one bellhop guy with my fucking long ass
Yeah.
last name. I tried writing it down on a cup once. It wrapped around it twice. I
Yeah.
even wrote small too.
Damn. That's funny. All right. So, she was an only child and she was a very happy kid. She was outgoing, an absolute extrovert, and she was very intelligent. Where Richard struggled in academics, Helle thrived. She was well loved by her parents, her community, and her friends. Everybody adored her.
Good for her.
Oh, dude, yeah, she was awesome.
She was the entire fucking package. Ate and left no crumbs.
Oh, yeah. She was super intelligent. I mean, we'll get into that later. But anyway, language was her best subject. You want to guess how many languages she spoke by the time of her death?
4.
Nope.
Damn. 6?
Yeah.
Fuck yeah!
Yeah.
Sorry,
So,
my OCD
well,
demands that I guess in evens.
no, you're fine. She spoke Danish, English, and French fluently by the time she graduated college and added Norwegian, German, and Swedish to the list later. So,
Damn.
yes, 6. Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
Dude, she's super intelligent.
We love an overachieving gal.
Yes, we do. Shortly after she graduated college, she went to work as an au pair in France. For those of you that don't know, it's basically like a part time babysitter. A nanny is considered a more qualified childcare practitioner, whereas an au pair, like I said, is more of a babysitter than anything.
And nannies are kind of like what more specialized,
Yeah.
and but that's basically the extent of it over here. Babysitters
Yeah.
and nannies.
Yeah. Nannies are more like specialized, but they're also, they live at home. They're live in nannies kind of things where they're always taking care of the children 100%.
Yes, and they have to have they need to be well educated to help teach and mentor the children, which is why, yeah, just a little bit more special.
Yeah, whereas a babysitter is just gonna, watch the kids for a couple hours. That's basically
Make
what
sure
an au
they
pair
don't
is.
blow themselves up.
Yeah, pretty much. So yeah, that's basically what an au pair is. Now, her natural linguistic talent did lead her to pursue stewardess work. And being in that line of work, especially being around so many people, you did need to be attractive. It was a requirement of the times.
Superficial as they were.
Yes. But you know what? She was blonde haired. She had blue eyes. She was beautiful. Very Scandinavian looking. She was gorgeous with the biggest smile, and I've actually heard others mention that she looks a little bit like Sarah Paulson.
Oh, cool. Who's
Yeah.
that?
Have you seen American Horror Story?
Yes.
You've seen the first season, right? The house one?
Yes.
She's
Yes. The haunted.
the medium. She's the Craigslist medium.
It's been a while.
Okay. What's your
I'm
favorite
sorry.
season of that? No, you're fine. What's your favorite season of
Uh,
American Horror Story?
the Coven. Uh,
She's the Supreme's daughter who becomes the Supreme.
okay. Oh, her. Oh, she's
Yes.
beautiful.
Isn't she gorgeous?
Yeah.
That's why I'm like, okay, tell me which season you like of American Horror Story, and I can tell you exactly who she is. Yeah, she's awesome. But yeah, shout out to Creep Time Podcast for that one. Anyway, so I listened to a lot of podcasts, did a lot of research, did the forensic files, yada yada. Um, so she first worked for Capital Airways, but at 21, she had applied for a job with Pan Am that allowed her to be stationed out of Copenhagen, which was great for her because that was her home country. That's in Denmark.
Nice, nice.
She was one of 8 candidates that actually got the job out of 200 applicants.
Fuck. She is a smart cookie.
She really is. And at the time of her murder, she was 39. So, I mean, she was working for Pan Am from 21 to 39, 18 years roughly.
Damn.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
So, she was still a flight attendant working for Pan Am, like I said, living in Newtown, Connecticut, with her husband, Richard Crafts, and their 3 children 2 boys and 1 girl, ages 4, 6, and 10. Her 2 boys were 10 and 6, and her daughter was 4. She loved being a mother. She took pride in it and she enjoyed it, but she did end up going back to being a flight attendant. So they ended up needing an au pair named Dawn Marie Thomas. So things are kind of coming full circle. You know, she was an au pair and then they ended up needing a new one. They ended up needing one.
Okay. I mean,
Yeah,
she graduated from au pair to flight attendant, so maybe in her mind this is just an opportunity to give somebody pass the torch along.
maybe. And, you know, that au pair
You have to have
because
a lot
she.
of trust. You have to have a lot of trust in somebody to let them take care of your kid.
Seriously. You really do. um, Hella and Richard met on May 24th, 1969, while they were both working in the airline industry in Miami. She was training as a flight attendant for Pan Am, and Richard was flying for Eastern Airlines. They met at what is considered a motel or airline housing area used by flight crews near the airport. Richard was around 31 at the time, and Hella was in her early 20s, around 22.
That bastard.
I know. Having recently come from
How old was
Denmark
he
for
and how
training.
old was she again?
He was 31, she was 22.
Mm,
So, 9 years.
I'm a little not okay with that, but I
But
don't
you're gonna
I
be
feel a
much
way
less
about it.
okay. And that's okay, but you're
I
gonna be much less okay with what I have to say next.
I don't like that.
At this point, Richard was already engaged to another woman.
Cheater.
Oh, chronic unfaithfulness. He also had several other flight attendants he was seeing on the side, including her.
Scum.
Of the earth, yes. Despite the infidelity, they started an on and off again relationship that friends described as turbulent almost from the beginning.
And nobody said anything? Nope, nobody Ain't anybody gonna help that poor girl?
She was young and in love. She wasn't listening.
I don't like that trope.
No, me either. They reportedly argued often, sometimes publicly, and many of her friends disliked or distrusted him very early on. I fucking wonder why. They had multiple altercations in front of flight crews and other witnesses. Now, keep in mind,
Messy.
oh, it's so messy.
So fucking messy.
Dude, seriously. But this did not stop them from marrying in November of 1975, so about 6 years after they met. And this was after she became pregnant with their first child.
She could have done better.
Yes. It is reported that she did have some uncertainties when it came to the wedding and actually marrying him, and as did her family and friends. But they still went through with it.
You have reservations! Why?
Exactly. If you have reservations about marrying somebody, don't fucking marry them. Simple as that.
Don't end up on a podcast.
Yeah, really, don't end up on a podcast. That's unfortunately way too accurate. Anyway, they lived in a 5-bedroom home in Newtown, Connecticut. I know.
You know what? You're either gonna be Bridget Badass or I'd rather
Helle
you guys
Crafts.
end up as Bridget Badass as like, you know what? She was a spiteful bitch, but she was sarcastic as fucking hell, and I love her. And just
Her
yes, she
last
died.
words
Her
were a
husband.
yo mama joke.
Yes, she gave as good as she got, and fucking just like, if you're gonna go down
Swinging.
with spite.
Oh, yeah. And she did, and that was fantastic. Hella, unfortunately, did not.
It is unfortunate.
Yeah. But as their family grew from one child to three, friends had noticed Richard becoming increasingly domineering. He wanted control and he wanted all of it. He became more emotionally abusive, chronically unfaithful, and obsessed with maintaining the control of the household. Mm-hmm.
It's because he doesn't feel in control of himself. He's not able to
Uh-huh.
emotionally regulate.
Exactly. So he takes his control issues out on everybody else. But her immigration status and distance from her Danish family contributed to her isolation. She was an easy target.
Yeah,
And I hate to say that, but it's the truth.
it is.
But that just made control for him so much easier. Richard was later actually described as humiliating her in public and treating her more like an employee than a spouse by witnesses.
It's kind of what it was back then, wasn't it?
I mean, I don't know.
This is during the time when that was being let go, but it's just
Right.
like, isn't that what it kind of was way back when?
Um, yeah, I don't know about the 70s because this is, past 1975, so this is probably closer to 1980 at this point. But regardless, you do have a
Yeah.
point. You make a good point. Many of her friends and family also reported seeing bruises on her, which she denied it was him at first. Yeah, yeah. But eventually did admit that it was Richard causing those bruises and abusing her.
And nobody did anything.
Nope.
I guess that is a very tumultuous situation to be in.
And it's the 1980s. Cops aren't going to care anyway.
And yeah, I have to take into account battered wife syndrome or Stockholm
Mhm.
syndrome.
Yeah, there was a lot
Yeah.
to think about.
Yeah.
And it sucks. Um, in the early 1800s, Richard's affairs were reportedly frequent and widespread known among coworkers. Because he worked as an airline pilot, like I said earlier, he traveled often and had opportunity after opportunity after opportunity for ongoing relationships with other women.
The bastard.
Seriously. When she confronted him, arguments became more intense. She became visibly anxious and fearful, and she began to quietly discuss divorce with friends and family. Which, I mean,
Or
yeah,
fuck.
yeah. I mean, they'd been married for 10 years at that point,
Yeah.
or around because, whatever. Anyway, um, yeah. I'm like, I don't math, guys. There were also tales of Richard threatening her that he would take the children, ruin her financially, or make her quote unquote disappear if she left him.
Yeah, I don't like that. Isn't that also during the time when, like, as a wife and a spouse, you couldn't really lodge that kind of complaint? Like, oh, they're.
I'm not sure because it's the 1980s, so I'm not sure. 80s, probably not so much. 60s, yeah, but 80s, probably not so much.
Mm,
I'm not sure, though. I
could
don't
be
know.
wrong. I can be wrong. My timeline does get a little fucky wucky.
Fucking same, bro.
But it's
Fucking
like,
same.
I like to keep in mind, like, yeah, just because it's been 20 years, there's still gonna be vestiges
Mhm.
of that time, kind of like how racism is still a thing. Like, we don't have segregation, but people act like it. And that's been how long, is what I like to keep in mind.
There's what sucks is there is still segregation. It's just it's a lot more.
Shouldn't be.
There shouldn't be. Absolutely, there shouldn't be. I don't fucking care what color your skin is. You got meat and bones under you. You're a fucking human being. Like who cares? But unfortunately, it's everywhere still. I don't care if you're a fucking green alien from fucking whatever that planet is from Avatar. I don't care.
Navi?
Yeah, Navi. I don't care what you are, man. Just let's sit down and have a conversation. God damn, I hate people. I hate people like that.
This is why we're
Um,
antisocial.
yeah, right. Fucking on the way home, I got cut off by two very impatient drivers, and then I was the impatient driver, but I didn't cut anybody off because somebody was going 30 miles under the speed limit in a 2-lane highway.
I hope their pillow is warm and their mattress
I
is
know.
hot.
Same. Yeah, I was the impatient person then. So I passed them, but I waited until I could see both of their headlights in my rear view mirror before I got into that lane again. Because that is the safe way to get in front of somebody. Because no single fucking person in Texas knows that.
Everybody forgets to drive every now and again. It just
It's not
sucks that
every
it
now and
happens so
again, it's
fucking
every
often!
day. It's literally every day, every single time. I can get in the car and drive for 3 minutes and almost get hit in Texas.
Same shit, different day.
Yeah. Anyway, moving on.
Slowly.
No, you're fine. That's okay. uh some of those statements about, making her disappear and stuff like that did come from witnesses' recollections after the murder rather than documented police reports, so take that with a grain of salt. It's always after the fact. I know. I know. I know.
Pertinent information, not pertinent until after the fact.
Yeah, it's just like
I
hindsight is
hate it.
2020 and all that, and I get it, but like fuck off. Anyway, from around 1984 to 1985, she began telling friends she feared Richard could kill her. And this actually formed the beginning of her now famous statement, quote, "If anything happens to me, don't think it was an accident," unquote. Which she said to everyone. Again, why are we not already making police reports when you hear something like that?
It
I know it's the 80s. I know, I get it, but fuck my life.
that, but also there are some people, battered wife syndrome and Stockholm
Mm.
syndrome, they will go back even when you help them because they have the sense of helplessness and the codependency that is the main objective of the abuser. So if they go back, then you are enemy number 1 because you broke them up. And the
True.
last thing you want to do is, after taking all that time and effort and heartache to get abusee away from abuser, and then they go back to them, the last thing you really want is for them to not have a lifeline out. But they've just alienated you because they went back.
Yep.
So it's that house of cards where it's just like, do I help? Is it gonna stick? But also,
That's fair.
a lot of abusers were crafty, and there's like this whole fucking thing where like there's like a network of people that literally take you metaphorically underground so that then your abuser does not ever fucking find you.
Mhm.
That wasn't established then.
True. True. And she also had children. So I mean, it's hard to leave an
Yeah.
abuser with, basically anchors because that's what children were. They were anchors.
Yeah.
So, but she repeated this to multiple friends and others that were brought into her life a little bit later for reasons we'll talk about in a minute. Now again, Richard loved guns. He collected them, so he displayed firearms. He was constantly cleaning or handling them during arguments and used them as intimidation tactics rather than overt physical violence in public. She was already preparing for divorce. She was already terrified of him. And she was already telling everybody, hey, if I go missing, it's because he killed me. So she began collecting financial information and documenting his behavior. She also found phone calls on the phone statements that were made long distance. She knows she
Ah.
didn't make them. Mm-hmm. She knows she didn't make them, but she didn't want to outright accuse him. She wanted to make sure that she checked in with Dawn and made sure that she wasn't the one making the phone calls. Before she even got a chance to do that, guess who saw her checking the statements and became violent?
Husband dearest.
Mm-hmm. He forced it
The
away from her.
crafts.
Yes. He snatched it away from her, and began to abuse her. He laid his hands on her because she looked at a fucking phone statement. She became convinced he was hiding assets, lying about affairs, and possibly surveilling her movements. The household became very tense. By mid 1986, Helle had kind of reached the end of her rope. In September of 1986, she officially filed for divorce through an attorney named Diane Anderson.
Fuck yeah.
Let me tell you, this woman was baby faced. She was sweet and unassuming, but this woman was known as a barracuda.
Oh, love it. Love it.
Oh, yeah. Bad
Take some
bitch
more
over there.
dynamic like that.
Oh, yeah. Bad bitch over here. She was unassuming as fuck, and then she comes in cold, hard lawyer. You're not expecting it. She was also increasingly suspicious of Richard. In October of 1986, she hired a PI, a private investigator. She asked him to document Richard's affairs, investigate his finances, and assist with divorce preparation.
Cuckoo, cuckoo.
Oh, yeah.
Covering the bases.
Absolutely. And you know what? It's a good thing that she did this. This was one of the most important turning points in her case. Because later on we find out that he was the first one to go to police. Because she said the same statement to him that she did everybody else. That's a damn good thing she did.
Yeah. Somebody believed her.
Exactly! Exactly! And here's the thing is everybody believed her From what it sounded like, everybody believed her, but nobody did a goddamn thing about it. The private investigator's name was Keith Mayo. Yes, like mayonnaise. And the funny thing is like
Mayonnaise.
yeah. And the funny thing is, like, in Mayo, like, for his logo, the O is actually like a magnifying glass. It was really clever.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah.
That's what my Q is for, is for the magnifying glass.
There you go.
Great minds think alike. I like it.
That's awesome. Let me tell you, he got
Tell
something
me, tell
real
me.
juicy.
Ooh, how juicy was it?
Well, they looked over all of his phone records and found that he had called a New Jersey number multiple times. This was that long distance phone call that happened multiple times that she found in her statements. He was able to get her photos of Richard kissing another flight attendant outside of that flight attendant's home in New Jersey.
What a dumb bitch.
Yeah.
Both of
But
them.
this, yeah,
Both of them.
yeah. So this flight attendant's name was Nancy Dodd. Dodd. With the proof that she needed, she was 1,000% ready to go through with the divorce. And in
Fuck
October,
yeah.
she did actually confront him with the truth. Like, after Keith got all that, she confronted him.
Oof.
Yeah.
Wrong
Yeah.
move.
Well, see, here's the weird thing. If it wasn't already weird, because it was already weird, but it gets weirder. Believe it or not. She
I
confronts him with
believe
the
it.
truth. Oh, yeah. She confronts him with the truth and divorce papers. And apparently, he just goes over, puts his hands on her head, just on top of her head, lays his hands on her, on the top of her head, and says, "Whatever you want, dear." Yeah. He just lays, as far as I know, this wasn't like he didn't hurt her in any way. He just gently laid his hands on top of her head and said, "Whatever you want, dear." To which
You
I'm
know what
like,
that
what
is,
the
right?
fuck?
You know what that is, right?
Go on.
That is dismissive and minimizing behavior.
Mm-hmm.
It makes you think, am I the crazy one?
Mm-hmm.
Or it makes you feel foolish for even trying because apparently it's not bothering him and he's
Mm-mm.
showing you it's not bothering him. And so you're kind of just like, what am I doing? That is devious.
That's
I
this man, yeah.
She should not have confronted him, especially in a physically abusive relationship. You do not confront them. They thrive on that shit. All right?
Seriously.
Do not confront your abuser, okay? They will deny, and sometimes they are pros at mental gymnastics.
Like this guy.
Do not argue with a pro of their field.
Seriously. It's like, don't tell me that sirens are mermaids because we will go into it.
Just
No, I get it. I get it.
they they they
It,
they they, they they're pros. They will make you feel like you are going crazy, and
mm-hmm.
this is why they have people to serve those paperwork. And this is why you get the fuck out. You don't go back. You don't look back. You don't go back, and you do not turn around.
You walk away. Get your
You
support
you
system
have
back and leave.
somebody with you at all times, and you have somebody with your kids especially at all times.
Oh yeah.
Cause that
But
guy is fucking unhinged.
he is. He is. So at this point, they had pretty much separated internally. They weren't sleeping in the same room anymore. They weren't spending a lot of time together. They were purposefully avoiding each other in their own home. Now,
As one does.
Dawn, yeah, exactly. Especially when things are, pretty rough. So, Dawn had reported that she heard a pretty heated argument November 14th, 1986. And this was right before Helle was going on a very long flight from New York to Frankfurt, Germany, and then back to New York. Yeah. So I mean, she was gonna be gone for like 4 days. 3 or 4 days.
Who's taking care of her kids?
The au pair and Richard. Yeah.
I don't like that.
I don't
Sorry.
either. You're good. So it seemed like she was pretty thankful that she was going on this long flight trip because she was telling all of her coworkers it couldn't have come at a better time, and she was getting away from a really big argument she had with her husband. And that, when she got home, she was, going through with a divorce.
Finally. I bet a lot of people were just like, "Finally!"
Seriously. Now, when she got back on November 18th, 1968, around 6 to 6:30 p.m., some of her coworkers drove her home since they had lived around the same area. Now, there was a huge snowstorm coming in that night, so everyone was kind of in a rush to get home. Um, when they drop her off, she mentions that she sees the lights are on, so she's like, "Oh, Richard must be home." That's a quote from her that they do remember her saying. But they had no idea that that would be the last time that they would ever see her. So she goes in to check on the kids, tucks them into bed, and even though it was normal for Dawn to be there that late, she was not.
Fuck.
Yes.
She gave him her game plan, and there was no follow through. Fuck.
So, I mean, she had to go, but Dawn wasn't there because she'd been given the day off, suspiciously. Yep. So she actually went to go work her second job, which was at a fast food restaurant. Now, the storm that was coming in was not a really big issue for Richard and his family. Oh, speaking of storms coming in, there's some thunder going on. Outside my window, I just heard it. Anyway, so the storm wasn't a really big issue for Richard. He'd always been, prepared. That's just who he was. I don't know if it was Marine or paranoia or control or all three. It could have been a mix of
I was about to
anything.
say, why not? Why not all of them?
Yeah,
Why be
exactly.
picky now?
Right. Um, could have been a lot of things, but he had generators and backup kerosene heaters. Like he had everything he needed. He was good to go. He was prepared. This storm was not going to be a big deal. And weirdly enough, the plan for the next day was that everyone was going to hop into a car and go to his sister's place, which was only like 30 minutes away. So they were going to go see his sister the next day.
Okay. Why are we visiting the sister now?
Well, we'll get to that later. Right now I'm going to talk about the weirdness of the very next morning when their power was off.
That's suspicious.
Especially with a generator and kerosene heaters. Now, of course, it had this terrible storm, but as I said, Richard was prepared. Didn't make a whole lot of sense that he couldn't get the power back on, which was the excuse that he made when he called Dawn at around 6 a.m., telling her to rush over so he could take them to his sister's house. 6 a.m.
Why did he
6
need help with the
a.m.
kids?
Everybody was going to go to the sister's house. That was the plan.
No, it's just him and his kids, right? Why does he need help taking the kids?
He's going to drop her off with the kids. They were all going to go. That was the plan. They were all going to go. Again, yeah, just hang on.
Okay,
We'll get to it.
I'm hanging in there. I'm hanging in.
You're good. You're good.
There's just
You're like, it doesn't make sense. I know it doesn't make sense. So, he's telling her to rush over so he can take them to his sister's house. He wakes everybody up around 6 a.m. He's frantically waking up the children, which was weird. There was no reason for him to just be rushing off at 6 in the morning.
that
When
is
his
an
sister.
ungodly hour.
Well, seriously. But you have to think this guy's smart. If everybody's in a rush and
No.
panicked.
He likes to present himself as smart.
True.
He might have
He's
had a
he's
big brain moment, but
I think he took some of his Marine training here because if everybody is freaking out, nobody's paying attention.
Which is fair, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You can get away with a lot of shit in what do you call it? In confusion.
Yeah, exactly. So he's frantically waking up the children, all of it. So, but it just doesn't make any sense, right? It makes sense, but to them, it's just like, that doesn't make any sense. She only lived 30 minutes out in Westport. There was no reason for them to get up at 6 o'clock in the morning. None of it really connected. Even Dawn said that she knew he had a generator, so him not being able to get the power or heat on made absolutely no sense.
There is a brain cell here.
Yes, Dawn was a very good brain cell for this case. So, another weird thing Dawn noticed is that Helle was nowhere to be found. And she asked Richard when she got to the house. She's like, "Hey, where's Helle?" And at first he was saying, she wasn't feeling good, so she made the trip a little bit earlier and would meet them there. Who the fuck, if you were sick, would go drive in a fucking snowstorm alone?
Someone who's used to it. If everybody bought it, then that's not an unusual behavior for her.
Dawn
Which
didn't
means
buy it.
that good, because that would honestly paint him worse in my mind. Because you literally had your wife going out in the fucking cold while having a fucking cold to go and do chores. The fuck is wrong with
Well, no,
you?
so she would have gone out to his sister's first. That was what he was saying she did. It was just another thing that didn't add up. And of course, they get to his sister's house. Helle is again nowhere to be found. So she asks, Dawn asks again, and he's like, "Oh, I don't know, whatever." He drops the kids and Dawn off at his sister's and bounces right after breakfast. Like, he did not stay. He stayed for maybe 30 minutes and bounced, if that. He says he forgot something at the house and he goes back. Or, well, he drives off. We don't know. We, quote, don't know what he did.
Do you want to hide a body?
Come on, I've dug the hole. By the time he comes back for the children and Dawn, it is like 9 p.m. They were at his sister's house for like 14, 15 hours.
Jesus.
Yeah, and Dawn later testifies that he was exhausted. Like, he almost fell asleep at the wheel, so whatever he had been doing all day was extremely strenuous. And again, there's still no sign of Helle. Days pass, and she's failing to show up for work. Her coworkers started calling the house to get more information, and Richard, being a pilot, unfortunately knows quite a bit about the system and says that her flights were canceled because she's timed out. And what that means is that she has surpassed her safe amount of hours that she can fly consecutively or within a certain amount of time. Remember, he is a pilot. So unfortunately, he does come off as knowing what he's talking about, and there's also the hierarchy. Pilots are pretty high up there. You don't fuck with a pilot, you don't question a pilot. It's just how it was. Yeah. So, obviously that doesn't last very long because, the exclusionary period isn't that long. And he's getting more calls asking what is going on with Helle. Nobody has seen her. So he starts making up other excuses. The first one was that she was with her mother in Denmark because her mother was very sick. However, big brain moment here, one of her friends that was really close to her was able to call her mother.
Finally,
Yeah,
we have found the
seriously.
second brain cell.
Seriously. You
Had to do a
know,
lot of digging, but we finally found it.
seriously. And her mom is just like, "What do you mean? I'm like 80, 81. I think she was 81 at the time. Don't quote me on it. But she's like, "I'm 81 and in peak health. I'm fine. What do you mean?" My daughter's not here with me. So now her mother is worried because her daughter is missing. And she's all the way in Denmark and can't do shit about it. Yeah. Interestingly enough, her divorce attorney and private eye that she hired both decided to go to police around December 1st. Now, she went missing mid-November, so it was a couple weeks later. But because they hadn't heard from her. And you would think that with Keith being a private investigator, that he would have some kind of, quote, pull over police, so that way they would, at least look into the case, but they completely ignored him. Those police officers had to have been salty or something, thinking that he was encroaching on their territory. I don't know.
Probably. Typically how it goes, especially during that time.
Yeah. But you also have to understand that the police turned a blind eye to both of them because they saw Richard Kraft's name.
He got his hand in all the cookie jars.
Yes. Now, at the time, he was not a current auxiliary police officer, but his name was recognized, so they didn't think much of it. So because police were not very useful in this and just completely ignoring him, Keith... Are you laughing because they called police useless? They were!
I wasn't expecting that! For less than useful. Fuck!
Because they were! They were! They were not very useful.
Okay.
So Keith took it upon himself to go and interview Dawn. Maybe she knows something, maybe she's seen something, because she's around a lot. Dawn told Keith that she did remember seeing a big, weird, dark stain on the carpet when she came in the morning of the 19th. Remember, this is the day after Helle came home. She also mentioned that there was a large
tomato
freezer.
sauce? Was it chocolate syrup?
We don't know. We don't know, because he got rid of the evidence.
Yeah.
You see, she also mentioned remembering that there was a large freezer that was missing from the garage that had only shown up a couple days before. Spoiler alert, the freezer was never found.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
Can you imagine somebody stumbles upon it?
Well, I have an assumption that it went to the dump. Because there were receipts for the dump. But we'll get into that. We will get into that. So, with these new findings, police finally decide to take Keith seriously. However, they decided to do the most useless thing and give Richard a polygraph test.
Hey, Richard, did you do it? Nah, fam.
Nah, man.
I believe him.
Well, here's the thing. He passed it with flying colors because of fucking course he did. He's a Marine. He knows how to keep himself calm in situations like this.
He was probably anticipating that shit.
Exactly. Now, one thing I will say, this was good for the case. Word was spreading that Helle was still missing, and the case was getting more national traction. So because of this, the case gets passed on to state attorney named Walter Flanagan. So,
Flanagan.
Now, huh?
Flanagan.
Flanagan.
It sounds like a very... It's a weird name to pronounce, you know? Flanagan. Yeah. It sounds familiar, too.
It's Irish.
Yeah. That checks out.
I like the name. It's fun.
Yeah.
But
I'm not making fun of it, I swear.
No, neither of us are. We're enjoying it. So, this is good news. This is good news because now we have the big guns looking for everything. We've got the big guns on it now. So, of course, they question Dawn again. She tells them about the stain and the freezer, and they go ask Richard, who said he'd been using kerosene heaters because of the storm, which we knew he didn't actually do because of Dawn.
Yep.
And he pulled up the carpet because the heater had stained it. Like the heater had leaked and stained it, the kerosene.
What color is kerosene?
It's fucking clear yellow. That wouldn't have made a dark stain.
I
Unless it's
had to
like,
fucking like just. Is there a chance that like, not that he's telling the truth because he's lying through his fucking teeth, but like,
right. Unless
was
it's
it
like
plausible?
car
No.
oil. I'm not sure if that was plausible or not. That's a really good question because unless it's like car oil that goes in yellow, white, and like yellow clear and then comes out sometimes if you're, not checking your oil regularly and stuff like that, it comes out really dirty. That's possible. Kerosene can get very dirty, but I mean, kerosene is mostly just clear.
He seems like the dirty kind of bitch that wouldn't clear out his shit.
Well, no, he was a Marine and he was always prepared, so he would have cleaned out his shit. So, regardless, kerosene is like it's clear. I've seen some of it with like a little bit of a yellow, but they do consider that like dirty kerosene. Regardless, I've never seen kerosene get dark. Anyway, um, he said he pulled up the carpet because the heater had stained it, so he took most of it to the dump. After being interrogated, you want to know what he fucking does? Because keep in mind this is
What?
Christmas break at the time. He goes on vacation to Florida to visit his parents with his children. Yeah. Which I am genuinely wondering if the parents knew she was missing because again, this is national news now. Did they notice anything? Did they ask him about what was going on? We don't know.
Here's the
However,
thing.
mhm.
Oh, sorry. Just
Oh, go for it.
nobody wants to know that their kid is a killer. They're not gonna
Right.
ask pressing questions that, especially if they feel it. Like they'll ask cursory questions, like, "Did you do it?" And of course he's gonna say no, and then you're gonna be like, "Okay, well, I did my due diligence."
Right, like they
Nobody
did in
wants
the
to know.
yeah, like with Helen Patricia Moore when the mother asked, "Hey, did you kill those kids?" "No, I didn't." Rah, 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 rah.
Nobody wants to know that kind of thing, and
Right.
honestly, don't blame them, but it is a fact.
Right.
They have to come from somewhere.
Yeah. So, the good news about this, because there actually is good news to him fucking leaving, um, his absence gave police the opportunity to put together an 11-page affidavit in order to search his home. It granted them the search warrant.
Fuck yes!
Yeah. Another really cool thing about this case is that this is one of the first cases for a forensic expert named Dr. Henry Lee. Now that name might sound familiar to quite a few of you, especially if you're fans of the Jean-Benet Ramsey case or maybe the O.J. Simpson case and many other cases because he worked on those. This was one of the cases that could be attributed to the start of his career. And he had a prolific career. This dude was awesome.
Fuck
Um
yeah.
he could be considered a genius at this point because he found 5 extremely tiny pinprick stains on the mattress in the master bedroom. Pinpricks. They're fucking tiny. If you look at a picture, yeah, they're like tiny itty bitty drops of blood. And he took samples from each of those fibers and puts them through some forensic testing. Now, do keep in mind, This is before DNA testing, which came out around 1992. So they had to do some special testing to find out the type of blood it was, whether O negative or positive, A, B, whatever. And they also had to try and figure out if it was human and if it could have been menstrual blood or anything like that. So we're going to get real scientifical here.
Scientifical.
But the way he tests this blood is with a chemical known as orthotelidine, or OTO for short. He uses this chemical, which is a blood tester, and adds hydrogen peroxide, then waits to see what happens. Pretty much right away, the fiber turns blue, which indicates that this is actually blood. The reason for this is that hydrogen peroxide reacts with the hemoglobins containing iron in the blood, because the iron releases oxygen with the hydrogen peroxide. Then the oxygen oxidizes with the OTO, creating the discoloration. So, it's blood. It's a presumptive test. It doesn't tell you whose blood it is or anything like that, but it does indicate that there were 5 random blood spatters on the mattress. So,
that was not innocent.
We don't know that yet.
It wasn't
It's
period blood
presumptive.
or menstrual blood.
We don't know that yet.
Ah.
All we know is that
Okay,
it's blood. Yeah. All we know is that it's blood. That's all we have. We don't know if it's human blood. We don't know if it's menstrual blood. We know nothing. Just that it's blood.
Damn it.
So, yeah. But they will test that, and I'll explain how.
Gimme.
I will, I promise.
Give it to me good.
Oh, yeah. But they also found...
No hesitation. Oh, yeah.
There really was no hesitation. That's fine. She'll ask to watch.
Yeah, I know.
Or join.
I know.
Do you want me to keep that in or take it out?
I leave it up to you.
Okay. I mean, I know
Trin will probably find it hilarious.
True. She'll probably enjoy that, so I will leave that in as a little nugget for her.
Yeah. I love you, my wife.
Love you, Jen! But, they also found towels that were drying in the bathroom, and those also tested positive for blood. However, as I said, they didn't know if this was human blood, so now they had to conduct a species test, or a precipitant test. A precipitant is an enzyme that is a specific type of antibody. It's a protein made to recognize human blood. The way they get these antibodies was from scientists injecting rabbits with human blood proteins.
Why'd they do that?
Well, the rabbits naturally made this antibody, which is the precipitant. And it was made to fight the human blood in their body. So the antibody can only react with human blood. That's why they did that. That was the only way to get it.
You know what? I want to do more research into that, because that's just the thing that rabbits do. It's they just have antibodies to fight off human blood. Why?
Well, their body creates them.
No, it's just is it just a natural occurrence that human blood gets into rabbits?
I don't know if it's specifically human blood or if that's something that rabbits can do with all kinds of blood. I'm not sure, but that would be something to look into for sure.
Yeah, that's got me confused.
Right. Yeah, the antibody can only react with human blood because it was an antibody made to go against human blood.
Okay.
So they would extract the enzyme from the bunnies and test the collected blood on it. If the blood was human, it would form a clump or a type of cloudiness as they connected. If it wasn't, they wouldn't have connected because the antibodies wouldn't have gone after that type of blood.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm getting it.
I'm being all scientifical. I went heavy into this. I went hard, okay? And we know because I have scientifical shit in here. Anyway, so now we know that it is indeed blood and it is indeed human blood. But now we need to know if it's Helle's blood. So next they're going to test for blood type. every single blood type has certain markers or name tags, if you will. Type A blood has A markers, type B blood has B markers, type O has no markers.
And so on and so forth.
Yeah. So, in determining blood type, they would use certain chemicals on the blood samples that were known to only react with type A or only react with type B, or if it was AB, it would react to both. And there would be, clumping of sorts with the chemical, much like with the antibodies that we got from the rabbits. So, type A would clump with anti-A solution, etc., etc.
Did they
The
have her
blood
blood type?
They do. They knew her blood type.
Fuck yeah.
Yes. So the blood samples found did not react with any of the anti-type chemicals, meaning that the blood was type O. This was consistent with Helle, but another problem arises when you think about 43% of people in America have type O blood. So, the next test that they needed to do was make sure that it wasn't menstrual blood and that it was circulation blood. There are a couple of ways to do that. One of which is to just look at it, because obviously, when it comes to menstrual blood, there's going to be some clotting or some other tissue involved where circulation blood is smooth. Looking at it under a microscope, you would see. What are you laughing at?
The way you can figure it out. Just look at it.
Yeah, yeah, look at it under a
Jesus.
microscope. Yeah, look at it under a
Look at
microscope.
it. You can tell just by looking at it.
Shove your face in it and look.
Ew. Jesus. I'd never
That's how
do
you get
that.
red wings. That's how you get red wings.
Go to your room, you know exactly what you did.
I can't go to my room. I'm presenting a podcast episode right now. She's disappointed in me, guys. Oh no.
Not the Red Wings. Not the Red Wings.
Red Bull gives you wings.
If they're red, you know what you did. Snort it out. Snort it out.
I swallowed.
Fuck.
Anyway.
Guess that means you suck too, huh?
Wouldn't you like to know? Anyway, looking at it under a microscope.
I'm okay not knowing. Mostly for Leo's sake.
Oh, yeah, fair. But looking at it under a microscope, you would see that there was extra uterine tissue if it was menstrual blood. Menstrual blood also has certain proteins that are not in regular circulatory blood. They also had to take into account the location of the blood spatter, the trajectory of the blood spatter, and things like that to determine, could this have been menstrual blood? And the short answer is no, this was found as circulatory blood. The blood was found as O positive, which was Helle's blood type, and in examining the blood spatter further, they were able to determine, and I'm not entirely sure how, but they were able to determine that it was smeared at an angle of 10 degrees, which indicated that it most likely came from an attack.
There was movement.
Yeah. Dr. Lee said it was most likely that someone had been kneeling before they were hit in the back of the head. However, yeah. Unfortunately, this was oh yeah, that would hurt like a bitch.
Fuck.
Yeah. Now, unfortunately, this was not enough evidence. It was circumstantial at best. Because they didn't have proof. There's no actual proof. There's a little bit of blood. But that doesn't really mean anything. They didn't have enough evidence to prove without reasonable doubt that Helle was dead, so they couldn't really arrest Richard. They found a horde of guns in the house and thought, hey, maybe one of those could have been the murder weapon, but without a body, they still didn't know. The evening of November 21st brought in a huge change for this case. Keep in mind, November 21st, that evening, is just a couple of days after she got home. She got home November 18th during around 6 p.m. November 19th, she was missing. So this is 2 days later after she was officially missing, according to Dawn. Okay?
Yes.
A snowplow driver named John Hine had witnessed a man with a wood chipper out in the snow on a bridge by Lake Zod.
That's dastardly.
Yeah.
I don't like that.
And this was around 3:30 a.m. Somewhere around there. Now, that's really fucking weird. Especially because he was in a bright orange, almost construction vest colored poncho.
Hey man, he's gotta blend in. He's
Bro
gotta look like
was
a construction worker.
neon at 3 a.m. with no other construction workers around.
People are tired at that point. They just want to go home. You just have to look and act the part, and you can probably get away with it. And that was probably what he was thinking.
Realistically, yeah, probably. John said he saw a large U-Haul box van. So that's another thing that would have straight up said, no, that's not construction because that's U-Haul. With a wood chipper attached. He saw the man walk around the U-Haul and wave him on, like telling him to keep moving. He clocks it as weird, but does exactly that. He keeps moving. However, he spotted this same U-Haul and wood chipper at the base of another road called River Road by the Housatonic River. And this,
Housatonic.
Housatonic. I don't know if that's how you say
Housatonic.
it. I don't know if that's how you say it. That's how I'm saying it. And this was around 4 a.m.
Fuck that.
Yeah. When he reiterates this to police, they have him lead them to both sites. First thing they find is piles of wood chips on the riverbank, so it does look like a wood chipper was recently used there. But they also spotted something else. Mail addressed to Helle, which somehow made it out unscathed from the wood chipper. Not sure how that happened.
Divine intervention.
At this point, probably. It's probably Helle herself.
Maybe.
Yeah, right? They also found 2,600 strands of hair, human tissue, about 3 ounces total, and tiny bone fragments were found underneath the snow, as well as a painted fingernail.
You could smuggle that on a plane.
Yeah.
3 ounces.
Yeah. So all of the evidence fit in a fucking envelope. All the evidence that they could find fit in an envelope. That was it.
That's sad.
Yeah. So they decided to dive in the river. They found a chainsaw, but the serial number had been scratched off of it. So that's suspicious as fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah. But they also found hair and tissue and cotton fibers inside the teeth of the chainsaw. Of course, those matched the other things that were found at the scene. She had a unique ridging in her hair. Basically, the way that her hair structure was, there's like almost like a
Notches?
kink. Yeah. Notches or kinks to it. That was
Isn't
very unique
there
to
another
her
name
hair.
for it? Like bamboo hair or something like that?
Something like that. But yeah, she had unique ridging in her hair. So they were able to yeah, where'd it go? But that was consistent with the 2,600 strands they found and the strands that were in and on the chainsaw. This was more confirmation that this was Helle because it exactly matched the hair on her hairbrush at home. They ended up using another chemical solution on the chainsaw to reveal the serial number. Do you want to guess who owned that chainsaw?
Could it be the Mr. President?
Dick Richard himself.
Dick himself.
Seriously. The serial number matched perfectly on a warranty card that Richard had mailed in 5 years prior.
Ooh, the one time that the warranty bites you in the ass.
Seriously. And you know what? The really good thing is they kept fucking track of all that shit. They didn't have computers to fucking take care of that.
I mean, you kind of have to with people scumming you like that.
Mhm.
Oh, I have a warranty. Oh, you don't have my file? That's a you problem. You
Exactly.
gotta be meticulous with that shit.
And they were. But do you remember
Good.
that polished nail?
Oh, fuck.
So it was red nail polish, and they analyzed it and found a bottle on her nightstand with a very similar chemical composition.
I like that.
Jesus Christ, my dyslexia. Simical. All right,
I love
similar
it. I
chemical
love it.
composition. Me too. But they still can't prove that she's dead. Even with all of this evidence, they still can't prove it's her. So, the police bring Richard back in for questioning. At this time, he was still saying that he had no idea where she was. And apparently, he's a really good actor. Because he was crying. He was talking about how his children miss their mother. And then in the same interview, he started talking about his infidelity. Started talking about how in the business that he's in, which is airlines piloting, there are a ton of opportunities presented to be able to cheat. To me, it kind of sounds like he's giving a reason that she would have left, because he straight up admitted, yeah, I've been seeing this chick on the side. It's real fucking suspicious.
Also casting shade. Maybe it was a disgruntled lover
Mm-hmm.
that took his wife off his hands.
Could have been, yeah. They still have no actual evidence that all of this that they have is from a dead body. They still can't prove that she's actually dead. It's all circumstantial. So they decided to do another test. Now, I need you to brace yourself. Not that you kind of haven't already, because we've been through a lot in this episode, but brace yourself.
I'm bracing.
There's a reason that sometimes human skin or meat is called long pork. Because humans and pigs, oddly enough, are similar enough body-wise to compare. Same, similar bone structure, similar skin, such like that.
Yeah, we eat anything.
Yeah, true. This is true. This is very true. Using that same mentality, they put a 47-pound frozen pig through a wood chipper. As gruesome as that was. Go ahead. Yeah. Yeah. Unpleasant. Yeah. Unpleasant
Okay.
as fuck. So, yeah, as gruesome as this was, it was great for them because it did create a signature cut on the debris that matched the debris that was found at the river.
They're finally getting it.
Yeah. At this point, they can 99% confidently say that this is a person. We have a shredded body on our hands. Did you know that liquid nitrogen can help determine if you have O-type blood?
How?
They used that on the bone fragments that were found at the scene. Now, I will explain because it's a bit more complicated than just, oh, pour liquid nitrogen on it, blink, blink, it's type O. That's not how it works.
Tell me more. Tell me more.
What they do is freeze the bone fragment in liquid nitrogen, and that helps to freeze the moisture and makes the bone fragile. After that, they grind the bone into powder, and this exposes proteins and biological residues trapped in the bone matrix.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. Dude, this is so cool because bones retain ABO antigens. Those are the biological markers associated with the blood type, and again, they tested these against the antibodies, which we already talked about. It's really cool because ABO antigens are not only in the blood, they're also in the tissue and bone.
Oh.
Yeah.
I mean, you kind of
Crazy,
are
right?
brining in it for most of your life.
True. Very true. But even with this staggering evidence, it still wasn't enough.
God. Do they just need, like, a video before they even consider it?
Well, it's all
Nah, man. Could be a deep
circumstantial.
fake.
Exactly. It's all circumstantial. Technically, they still didn't know that it was her. Yes, the blood type matched. Yes, the hair matched. Yes, a lot of things matched. The nail polish matched. But again, there's no DNA testing, so they had no way of knowing if it was actually her or not. What they did know was that they had a body. but they still didn't know it was her. All of that was circumstantial. However, at the scene, they did end up finding a single tooth. One tooth, that's
Ah,
it. Yep. But that was the big break in the case that they needed.
fucking finally.
I know, right? Took long enough.
You're just painting a picture right now. Just fucking finally.
I know. I know. It's frustrating because you have all this evidence and you know it was Richard, but you just can't actually pin him with it.
I could pin him with something.
Yeah, well, you probably could, but not with this right now. Until they brought in a forensic dentist named Dr. Gus Carrizolis, who was able to determine that that tooth was indeed Hella's. Not only that, but they were able to determine that it was knocked out of her head because there was jawbone residue still attached.
I
Uh-huh.
shit. What
Yeah.
a bastard.
Seriously. Oh, it was bad.
Shit had to hurt.
I'm sure it did. That might have been knocked out of her head when Richard hit her in the back of the head in the bedroom. Never know. But Dr. Lee believed that blunt force trauma was what actually killed her, and this almost solidifies that. Now, with all of the evidence that they have, they're finally able to arrest Richard Crafts on January 13th, 1987. January from November. Now, again, they didn't even start taking people seriously until December. Because December 1st, which was 2 weeks after she went missing, that's when Keith went and the divorce attorney Diane went. So, and then there was time in between that where, they weren't believing them, and then there was the other evidence and shit like that. So, regardless, this has taken a while to get to him. But not as long as some other murder cases, so I will give them that. It only took them about a month to really get him, nailed down.
Nail him to the fucking wall.
Exactly. But this is when they officially pronounce her dead and issue a death certificate and a warrant for his arrest. Now, thank the gods, he was not able to get the money for his bail, which was $750,000. Can you imagine how much money that would be today? That was back in
How
the
much
80s.
is it with how much was it? Tell me.
I don't actually have that answer, but let me look it up. I will look it up just for you.
We're gonna learn you today.
Right? $2,198,635.50.
Fuck.
Yeah, it would be that much due to an accumulated inflation rate of approximately 193.15%. Yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah. So the fact
I'm
that it would
sorry,
be
I don't have
2
that kind of
billion.
money. Your ass is sitting in there. It's like if I ever have to bail you out, it is that much. Ooh, fuck.
Yeah, sorry about it.
I love you, but I
Not
don't
that
think I could
much.
financially recover from that.
Yeah, I could not financially recover from that either. Now, his trial began in May of 1988 and lasted 15 weeks. Now, his trial began over a year and a half later. So he was in jail for a year and a half before his trial began. This was a really small town in Connecticut, so a lot of people had connections to him. A lot of people knew him, and a lot of people had preconceived notions of him, making it very difficult to get a jury involved.
Oh yeah, because the jury is tainted with information preconceived.
Exactly. So once they finally did get a jury, prosecution was painting him in the worst light possible, which was all true. Everything prosecution said was all true. Abusive husband, crazed murderer, putting your wife through a wood chipper after dismembering her with a chainsaw, after holding her in a freezer for how many hours, after beating her to death. This was not something that was ever seen before in this small town of Connecticut. This was gruesome on a whole new level. They also had proof that a dump truck reservation was made by him on November 10th. Then a few days later, on November 13th, he ordered a new freezer. November 18th, the day Helle got back, he reserved the wood chipper for 3 days. And all of this was very premeditated, and they had proof of that. You want to know how they had proof of that?
Receipts?
From his fucking credit card!
You could throw away the receipts, but those bank statements.
Yeah! He put all of this on his credit card!
Gotta love a dumbass.
Well, it gets more egregious. Because even
Ooh, I
with the
love it when they get more
mountain,
egregious.
it wasn't him. This part wasn't him. Yeah. With the mountain of evidence and everything else they had, there was one man named Warren Mescal who thought, without a body, I can't convict this guy. This bothered the ever-living fuck out of me, so I did a little digging to try and find out if he said anything about the matter. And he did! He stated that his conscience bothered him, and despite intense pressure from other jurors, he felt there was, quote, no other verdict for me, unquote. He also stated, quote, I think Helle might still be alive, unquote, and suggested she could have taken off and abandoned her family. He was not convinced beyond a reasonable doubt of murder. And he actually walked out of deliberation saying that the atmosphere had become, quote, abusive and coercive. I also heard that there was some kind of divine intervention excuse as well, where he said other beings were telling him not to convict, which should have gotten him kicked off the fucking jury.
I mean, if I bitch slap this guy, but then claim I don't have a hand, that means
Exactly.
I didn't slap him. I didn't slap him.
Exactly. I told you it gets more egregious, and it wasn't even Richard. Anyway.
This motherfucker.
Dude, yeah. They had a hung jury, so they had to pronounce a mistrial and go for retrial. This trial lasted 54 days. Yep. This trial lasted 54 days, but it somehow wasn't enough for this guy because there wasn't a body. And this caused pandemonium. Now, this was stupid on the prosecutor's part.
What'd they do?
Well, he was so pissed off, he ended up saying some not so nice things about this guy. And he got sued for it, because these things came out to the public. He said them to the fucking public. So he ended up getting sued and having to pay a settlement to Warren. Now, thankfully, they were able to get back to trial quickly, September 7th, 1989. So, 15 weeks, that's what, roughly 3 months. So June, July, August, September. So they went back to trial pretty much the next month. So good news there. They started all over again. This time, everybody convicted the fucker. And in January of 1990, Richard Crafts was sentenced to 50 years in prison. 3 years later, in 1993, he tried to appeal his sentence, claiming that because there was no body, she had to still be alive somewhere. Now, there was a 4-1 Supreme Court ruling that rejected his appeal right out the gate. So somebody actually said, yeah, sure, he's free to go, which, what the fuck is wrong with you?
Not enough oxygen in the womb.
Seriously, clearly there was not, there was so much evidence available. But the other 4 were like, nah, fam, this is not happening. Now.
It's not enough. It's just not enough.
Must have been related to Warren. Anyway.
Damn greedy bitches.
Seriously. That was harsh, I'm sorry. Anyway. Now, something that really pisses me off, and I don't think he deserves this at all. But he did not serve all 50 years.
Why? ¿Por qué?
Well, good behavior. He only served 30 and was released in 2020 during the COVID times.
Oh.
He is in a halfway house currently for veterans in Bridgeport, Connecticut. Yeah. So I'm going to end with this. It's a little cool side note that I found.
Gimme.
Whoever bought the house that this murder took place in, bought it directly from Richard. Nobody else has had the house in between.
Ah.
Yeah, they owned it directly after Richard.
Jesus, okay. I
Yeah.
don't like that, but you know what? Times are tough. You do what you gotta do.
Yeah, and depending on how long had passed in between Richard owning the house and them owning the house, we don't even know if this was disclosed or not.
Yeah. I think it's like
Yeah,
after what, 10
3
years
years.
or a couple of years.
I think
There's a
it's 3.
cutoff where like they don't have to disclose it, but you do have to
Mhm.
ask for it, and they have to fucking tell you.
Yeah, if you ask, they have to say it. They have to give you the full history. But
Yeah, they will try tricky things like, oh, in the last
yeah.
10 years or in the last decade, there hasn't been. Yeah, you have to actually ask, has there ever,
Mhm.
ever been a
And
murder?
then they have to give it to you, yeah.
Question. You do
Uh-huh.
graveyard dirt. Does it count as a graveyard if somebody dies in a house and you try and like grab the dirt under the house? Would it count? No.
Not unless they were okay, so when
Buried?
it comes with when it comes to graveyard dirt, yes, they do have to be buried in the house, so I mean, I guess technically if you went for, like, the house like John Wayne Gacy's house, that might count. However, it's not exactly hallowed ground, so that's another thing that you have to take into consideration. I would not want graveyard dirt. I don't
From
even think
that
it would
kind of
be.
situation?
Yeah, I don't think it would necessarily count as graveyard dirt because again, it's not hallowed ground. Um, it could count as like, at this point we could call it murder dirt. Mert, we'll call it Mert, but either way, it's not hallowed ground, so it wouldn't necessarily count as a cemetery or a graveyard because that is considered hallowed ground.
Sorry, that was my fuckhead question of the day.
No, it's fine. I like that. Thank you for that question. But yeah, and any other questions?
No, I can't think of anything right now. I'll probably come up with another fuckhead
Alrighty.
reason or fuckhead question.
That's okay. That is a-okay. But all right. So that was the Helle Crafts case. I'm glad we took some pauses in between, especially in the beginning, to kind of bring some lightness into it. If you want to find us on Instagram, we're SOTM Podcast 1, Facebook, SOTM Podcast page, email sisters of the macabre podcast at gmail.com. We're on YouTube, Spotify, Apple, Audible, everywhere else you listen to fucking music, like any listen to music or podcasts, we are there.
And if you're gonna end up on a podcast, we don't recommend it, but if you are, go out like Bridget Cleary.
Yeah, go out like Bridget Bad Bitch. Anyway, okay, thanks. We love you. Bye.
Bye!